Recently, I was looking through some of my old gear and I came across this. It's one of the old Glidecam HD 4000s, and I remember getting this thing when I used to love watching Devin Graham YouTube videos. He ran a channel called Devin Supertramp, and they rose to fame for making those really cool Assassin's Creed parkour videos. And at the time, I had never seen camera movement that was so dynamic. Devin Graham did go on to work with Glidecam to make his own signature Glidecam series. However, this isn't one of those, it's just one of the originals. I always liked the look of Glidecams, and by look, I mean the kind of movement that you can get from them. I've honestly never really been a fan of brushless motor 3-axis gimbals. They typically have that really robotic sort of chicken XY movement that is so distinct and identifiable. I think it's partly because gimbals are so affordable now, and for low budget productions, easy to access. As soon as I see a shot that's clearly using a gimbal, and where something like a Steadicam or a dolly would have been more suited, sometimes it just sort of cheapens the production for me. Now, of course, some higher budget shows and films do use gimbals. Something like Netflix's Adolescence, for example, used the DJI Ronin 4D, but this was a use case where the people operating that camera were highly experienced industry professionals. Also, I think it's fair to say that Adolescence is a bit of an outlier. Looking at the Glidecam, you might notice that even just the silhouette alone looks quite similar to another piece of film equipment. That being the Steadicam. The Steadicam has a long history and has been one of, if not the most important invention in the film industry. Professional Steadicam systems cost tens of thousands, putting them far out of reach for most filmmakers. Glidecam filled this gap by offering a simplified, lower cost alternative, a handheld stabilizer built around a central post or sled, a gimbal, which even though this is what we think of as today's gimbals, this part here also fits the definition of a gimbal, and counterweights. Unlike the original Steadicam, it didn't initially include a vest and an arm, although later models did. Either way, Glidecam created an accessible way for indie filmmakers to capture smooth shots without expensive or high-end rigs. It's the similarities between these two pieces of equipment that I find so fascinating. Despite being two different pieces of equipment for two different jobs, the basic core principle is the same. Many people even refer to this as a Steadicam, even though that name is trademarked currently by Tiffin. I suppose it's a bit like people calling vacuum cleaners Hoovers, even though Hoover is a name for a specific brand of vacuum cleaner made by a specific company, and not just an alternate blanket name for all vacuum cleaners. That analogy has definitely confused anyone watching this outside of the UK. Apologies for that. My point being, as the mechanical principles of both a Glidecam and a Steadicam are similar, can I achieve a look that is more in line with the smooth and natural look of a Steadicam rather than the robotic chicken head look of a brushless motor gimbal? Let's find out. The first hurdle to get over is balancing one of these things. I need to choose a camera that won't be too heavy, as I don't have arms the size of Popeye. I don't want weight to be a limiting factor here when operating this piece of equipment. So I'm sticking with my trusty old Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. The key is to add enough counterweights at the bottom to almost offset the weight of the camera, with the gimbal part of the Glidecam being towards the top. Once this is close enough, I'm going to perform a drop test. This is where I take the sled to a 90-degree angle and drop it, allowing the sled to swing past the vertical point. This should take around 2 seconds. If it swings too quickly, there's too much weight. If it swings too slowly, then there's not enough weight. I can also adjust the length of the sled to change how quickly or slowly the sled drops, more precisely. Once I'm happy with that, it's time to adjust the position of the camera. The aim is to try and get the sled to settle in a dead straight vertical position. The only other thing to adjust would be these things here. I'm not sure what they're called, but they move in and out, and I believe they should be adjusted when the rig doesn't spin evenly, with a spin test, I guess. Someone let me know down below in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Now I've got this thing balanced, it's time to see if I've still got it. Because there's no vest and arm to take the weight and absorb the shock of footsteps, you sort of have to do this really weird chicken walk. I guess that's what I get for making fun of gimbals for having a chicken head movement. To pan and tilt the camera, you simply use your other hand to very lightly touch the sled here. I've seen advice online saying that you should just lightly touch and let go, but I've found much more success in just very gently holding the bar, about as firmly as you would a baby's arm, you know? Just firm enough to gently guide the Glidecam, but not so firm that you disrupt the smoothness that the gimbal part of the Glidecam gives you. After a bit of practice, I decided to test this thing out on a small corporate shoot. I thought it was quite fitting because it was a tour of a facility with lots of opportunity for the camera to physically move through the space along with the subject. I have to say though, despite trying to keep this rig as light as possible, my god, this thing got really heavy really fast. Halfway through a take, my wrist would just completely give out and I'd have to grab the camera with the other hand, completely disrupting the smoothness that the gimbal part gives you. It was also unbelievably hot that day, and we were in a greenhouse of all places, which, believe it or not, didn't help. But overall, I was pretty impressed with what this thing was able to do, especially considering it'd been sat in a shed for years. But there we go. What did you think? If you liked that video, then don't forget to drop it a like. It helps to get my content in front of more eyes. Leave a comment below if you've got any questions or any suggestions for future topics you'd like me to cover. Finally, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with all of my future uploads. That's a wrap for now, but as always, I'll see you in the next one.